So the second presentation is also equally as exciting and equally 21st century. And I got to compliment Dr. Gill. She saw something that could be something very special for our community, a partnership with a very large corporation who very generously has done research development and paid for the results. And the presentation you're going to see now is going to start with our families and our folks at the high school, but we're looking at a very real, in real-time communication resource through an application. So we'll turn it over to Dr. Gill, and again, kudos to her work and vision on this because it really is turned out to be a neat product.
Thank you, Dr. Nicholas. Good evening again. We have some wonderful, wonderful, great parents in this community, and that's what it comes down to. So I remember sometimes when I did work with the parents regarding with Maths Olympiad, Science Olympiad, those type of things, and parents do say, you do so much for our children as a school district, and you go out of your way to help our children. What can we do for you? And so that's where the whole conversation started from. And so Ms. Mata, this parent right here, he's one of our wonderful parents, and he has children in the audience as well. So he and his wife contacted me and said, what can we do for our district and how can we get involved? And so we started talking. That's how the whole thing started. So he works for Cisco. And he's going to go into the details. So Cisco has this partnership and vision to work with organizations like us. And we are lucky that they selected us. It's about $100,000 they are putting out approximately to build this product just for our school district right now. So I'm going to introduce Mr. Seamus and Mr. Mata and Padu Balamani. And I also want to thank Kumar Goshwan for joining us because he's also the partner with Intapia. Intapia is the company that is putting the app together that they're going to share, but Cisco is the sponsor. So just want to make sure we clarify that. So, Mr. Seamus.
Good evening. So for about the last 9 months, Mr. Mata and Mr. Balamani and Mr. Ganesan have been working with us to develop an app for our school. We live in this information age, and information is flying at people at a really rapid rate. And I think the visionary piece of what we're developing here is that it will give us the ability to pull information together in one source and in a device that people carry with them at all times, that they never take their hands off of practically. And I can testify to that because I've been in a lot of our classrooms and seen our students. But Mr. Balamani and Mr. Ganesan and Mr. Mata have worked really hard on developing what I think is a great product. They've been able to automate it extensively so that we're able to add information from multiple sources, Facebook and our own website and Twitter, and they can explain more of the details of that. But I just think that it's a very exciting opportunity for our school and for our district as well.
Good evening, Sudhir Mata. I'm with Cisco. I'll do a 60-second intro for myself. I am Cisco's lead for wireless sales around the world, primarily focused on education. So I sell to MIT, Harvard, Stanford, all the universities, and LAUSD, Chicago, all the large school districts. And obviously, I'm a proud parent of Mountain House, and so a proud parent of Lammersville District. One of the charters that my boss has given me last year was, we all talk about transforming education. It's just, his ask was, can we put money where our mouth is and actually make it happen? And a lot of districts, there's a lot of inertia there's a lot of vision, but there's a lot of inertia that goes with it. And so when we found Dr. Gill and Mr. Forbear and Mr. Seamus, it was a great partnership of a very willing district and an upcoming district, and a very willing and able sponsor in Cisco. So we've chosen five combinations of universities and districts around the country: MIT, Arizona State in the university space, Lammersville Unified in the school district space, and a couple of districts in Texas. So, this, what you're going to see is really a quick 3-minute video of how the process has been. Again, and what you'll see in the video, we want it to be grounded in reality on what it is today. And what Mr. Balamani is going to talk about is where we want to take it. Cisco is going to not stop here. We want to transform education. Our mantra is, in the next 5 years, education is going to change more than the last 30 years. And it's changing unbelievably. We're seeing it. I've sold in Korea, Uruguay, Turkey. I've seen countries transform education, like, in a matter of months, right? So and last plug, every time you see an access point like that, I'm getting paid, so thank you very much. So, so with that, I'm on video, so I got to be careful.
So we also understand that when you do these presentations, you introduce Lammersville Unified as Lammersville Unified, the Stanford of the Central Valley. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. When Dr. Gill brought us in, she said, we want to be the best school district in the Bay Area, period, bar none, right? So this is the first district in the Bay Area. You could download and attempt to download any school district app in the country, and you would not see something on par with this. And this is just the beginning. To some degree, the video makes a little bit of fun of Dr. Faubert, or Mr. Faubert, because he was a perfectionist. He's obviously, you all know he's a geek, but we found out he was a perfectionist. And so he really, when we met the first meeting after the first version of the app here, he's like, nope, go back to the drawing board, not good enough. And I think there's something to that, and we have to be thankful for that. So anyway, with that, I've used up my 5 minutes already, but this is the video. do a PowerPoint, but we couldn't do it in front of Mr. Forbear. We'd be too old-fashioned for that. So my wife, Vanita, worked hard to create that. We're obviously very committed parents of Mountain House. So this is the app. What I'd like everybody to do now is go to the App Store and download the app. It's live. If you have an Android or app or an iPhone, it's there. And what I want Padhu to talk about is sort of where we're taking this. This is actually phase 0 of where we needed the app to be. What we have funded this for is actually a significantly advanced phase. I'll give you a very profound story, and I'll turn it over. There's so many things we can do with technology, and one of the most profound, heart-touching stories that I've run into in education, at one of the universities in the South, a student tweeted she was committing suicide. A student tweeted she was committing suicide, and they actually used the network to detect her device in the women's restroom, and authorities were able to find her. That's the relevance of technology these days. And that CIO and that campus was, couldn't be happier with technology that day, right? So a lot of things are happening, and we're glad to be a part of that. So the app itself is very feature-rich. You can play. I'm not going to spend time on it. Padhu, if you can maybe use the next 3 minutes that I did have. Thanks.
Thanks.
22,000 unread emails. Somebody's got some work to do.
I know.
Yeah. Thank you. Again, my name is Padhu Balamani. I'm co-founder of Entapia, and thanks for giving us an opportunity as a startup. Cisco and LUSD has given us a wonderful opportunity. And again, you saw many slides there. Parents, students, and teachers are completely overwhelmed, right? So the new technologies, Common Core, multiple tools, what's happening where. Parent has to log in 10 different sites to get to know what's happening. My neighbor, who's a parent of 3, 2 high schoolers and 1 middle school, and the beginning of the month, she makes a calendar bringing in different information. Her first son does fencing. All they do is give a paper. These are the schedule. This is the time that you need to come in. So she puts all of that in a calendar and then pastes it to the entrance, and so that the father and mother can know what's happening. And if there's a change in schedule, they need to go back and change and redo. So it's a tough thing to be a parent in this century compared to what our parents went through in previously. So our aim is to make parents' life simple. That's our goal. How can we make our parents' life simple is to bring in all this information in a nice way, easy to consume in a single device, and that's literally attached to us. And how can the school district or the administration connect with the parents, get more engagement, and that's our goal. The whole thing end to end, as simple as possible, get all the information, relevant information, the right information at the right time, at the right medium to the parents. Again, you saw the app, as you were saying, this is phase 0. Our aim is to take this to whatever level. So as you saw, you have Guru Learning, blended schools, cafeteria information, where do you pay, booster clubs, PTSA. You have variety of information lying all over the internet or different places, right? We bring that all together in a single interface to the parent. The parent can start here and go to each of those things in a much better way. And one of the features that we are doing, again, coming up in the next phase, is that you have an assignment schedule, right? So teachers add Guru assignments or different assignments 2 days before the parents gets a notification that assignment due 2 days later, right? So a single page where it lists all the things that you need to do in the next 2 days, the events, the PDA events or cafe menu or the assignments, everything in a single place. And that's our goal, and it's partially there, phase 0. In the next couple of months, we are going to add more and more features to this, and hopefully this is something that next time you have the board meeting, you will probably use that to schedule the board meeting and send that information to the parents all over this district. So that's our goal.
So I think the last comment I think we should make is this is phase 0. We have generally in the life cycle of an application, you launch it to a set of beta users. We've sort of taken a bold step of just launching it. And so as you hear and as you hear commentary, I think they want to hear it. Mr. Faubert and Mr. Seamas want to hear it, and this has to be better because, again, we put a lot of money on the line, and it has to be a world-class app. So that's all. It's exciting, and there's a lot of interesting possibilities in the future. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.